Evening, welcome to the Derby debrief from RamsTV, live from Pride Park Stadium. Owen Bradley with Bradley Johnson and Shaun Barker alongside, here to bring you some reaction to a defeat for Derby County tonight. The Rams knocked out of the Bristol Street Motors Trophy by Bradford City. Second half header, the difference between the sides. Derby never really got going. You'll hear from head coach Paul Warne shortly. Fair to say he is disappointed. I know the boys next to me in the studio are as well. Jono, we'll start with you. What went wrong for Derby tonight?
We spoke about before the game. I think the approach of the game, the mentality going in. I think, these games. We spoke about the atmosphere before. There's not many fans here, but you've got to create that as a player. And I think too many first and second balls we didn't win. Bradford come out and they put us on the back foot. And I think that's the way the first half went on. Duels, we weren't winning our duels. Too many stray passes going. And that's the way the game went on, and it panned out, and it carried on into the second half.
And we should say, I guess, Shaun, this wasn't a smash and grab from Bradford. They were the better side tonight.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought they had a little bit more quality in possession. I thought they played through the pitch a little bit better. I thought the two 10s were the bright players on the pitch, finding little gaps between our midfield and defenders. Too many times in the first half we delayed passes and we stayed on the ball too long and got caught out and countered on. In the second half, when we made substitutions and obviously wanted a lift, still forcing passes, still kind of rushing things through the eye of a needle rather than playing around and playing through on 1 and 2 touches. And we had a sign in maybe 10 minutes in the second half where you think we just about got control of the game. We're starting to pass the ball around. Our better players are getting on the ball, and they scored set piece. I'm sure the manager and his staff will be fuming about that because he understands the importance of set pieces in tight games. And from that moment, we were going quick back to front far too quickly. There's no real detail in the pass and the way to get up the pitch, and they were countering and could have had another goal or two. So frustrating performance, frustrating evening, and they've got to pick themselves up because it was a unlike performance of Derby that we've seen of late.
More from the guys. Let's get some reaction from the head coach. Here's Paul Warne.
Disappointing. We obviously made some changes to freshen the team up, which didn't really have the outcome that I wanted. Obviously, changed it at half time, but it was always intention to play 45s. Really, we don't play till next Monday, so we didn't disrespect the cup. We still went with a really strong team that should be good enough to win, but it wasn't. And then to concede off a set piece is very frustrating, to say the least. But I was more disappointed that we didn't really show, when we went a goal down, like enough character on the ball. Really, it just became more and more panicky, and so that's what's disappointing, because you could go a goal down in any game, but you've just got to keep playing the same way and you'll create chances. And we did create chances in the last 10 or 15 minutes. It just felt like for the last half an hour everything was just at chaos pace. So I'm disappointed, obviously, a little bit embarrassed, because I just didn't think we were anywhere near our levels that we've shown. And I think, when you interview a player, I'd like to think they'd say the same thing. We spoke about it before the game, about mentality, and you can't just turn it on and off. You're either all in or you're not in. They're the only two options you've got, and it just felt like tonight we didn't have enough players that were all in. That's my honest appraisal of a performance, which was disappointing.
Did you see any signs of that from the players before the game, or does it hit you by surprise in the game?
No, well, I mean, I've been around a while, that I know how footballers think sometimes, and think, it's Bradford and they've made a few changes, which they did. We should be all right if we just. So it's not that you can actually see it. You can sort of smell it in the dressing room sometimes if it's a little bit quiet, but on the performances we've been on, and I know that the lads just on the periphery were desperate to come in and impress, so I didn't really see it, although I did warn the lads of it. I wasn't expecting it, put it that way. But what I would say as well, though, fair play to Bradford. I'm talking here like we're AC Milan, and so it's not fair. They played well and took their chance. We had a few goal scrambles off set pieces but didn't take it, but man got free on one of ours, which is very unlike us, and scored. So I can't say I saw it before the game, but I did warn the group, and I do understand the psychology of players at times, and sometimes it's it's not their physical attributes, it's their mental. I'm not saying they turned up tonight not trying, that isn't what I'm saying. I just don't know if they were fully focused on the task ahead.
You talked a lot recently about how so many different players have contributed to your success. How disappointed are you that no one really grabbed their opportunity tonight coming into the team?
Yeah, I am disappointed. I'm disappointed for them. I don't dislike them just because we've lost, by the way. I'm not standing here like, going to get rid of them all. It's just the fact that you do have an opportunity to step up. You do have an opportunity to impress the fans, impress your family. But fundamentally, you're either a winner or you're not. You either step up and take opportunities or you might not get another opportunity. And that is the sad reality of footballers. And football, you're judged every week, as am I, as the staff are, on the performances, and you have to try and give your best. Sometimes you can try as hard as you like, you're just not there, and maybe you could argue that they maybe tried too hard and it didn't come out the right way, and sometimes you get that with younger players, but we'll bounce back from it as we always do. We'll look at it, we'll show the lads the disappointment bits in it, and I think they're prepared already for my debrief of how I'll show them the bits. And in fairness, it isn't just, it's all right me talking about, we just collectively weren't good enough. There's things that the seniors done tonight which weren't up to the standards that we would expect from a Derby player. So collectively, and myself included, we have to be better, because it will be a tough game next Monday. Playing on the same pitch, we've got to be better than that.
Paul Warne there, more reaction to come from the dressing room. Downbeat his demeanour, I think it's fair to say, Barks.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that it was disappointing to leave this competition. He understands the importance of it, both probably his past and history and some of the wonderful experiences him and his teams have had. At the same time, he wants that winning mentality, and he wants that consistency of winning week in, week out, and fighting for every single ball and every single game. And it was below par. The long and short of it is below par. John will say he's seen this team throughout the season, and I think we've got better as the season's gone, and we've got more resilient, bar the Peterborough, which for me were the best side in the league. We've shown a real character to win games in different ways and perform in different ways, and even when we're not at our best, still getting the result that we needed. And tonight we didn't have enough of everything. The duels, the battles, the second balls, the in-possession detail, the desire to do that little bit more than Bradford. And yeah, I thought Bradford, League Two or not, they were the better team on the night.
I know we talked before the game about the team tonight, 6 changes, but what we said and what the consensus seemed to be was that there should have been enough quality in that side to get through in this competition tonight.
Yeah, and that's why I think he's more disappointed, because the strength and depth we've got in our squad. You said the players there should go out tonight, and you said no disrespect to Bradford, but we should be winning the game or competing better than we did. And Barks just said there, you go into games and you can't have as many off days. And I think we had about 9 or 10 players out there who were below par, and I think that's what we'd be frustrated with as well, because the last run of games we've been on, we've been really good, and we've had players, 8 or 9 players who have been 6 or 7 out of 10 consistently on a consistent basis. And tonight we had too many, as you say, passengers who had a below par game, and that's what we'd be disappointed about.
You said compete there. I mean, even if you just look at the goal, it's essentially a free header for Sam Stubbs. Is Derby not competing at a basic level where the problem started? I
think at any level you play at, you've got to compete first and foremost. Going to any game, you've got to compete, and he will be disappointed with the goal we conceded. A set plays, he knows how important set plays are in today's game. And, we've been brilliant this season on set plays, defending and attacking. And I felt, he got a free header in our box. I felt we could have dealt with it better. We marked zonally, and I felt that a few of our zone men had a free header. They could have maybe went out and attacked the ball, and I think that's what we'd be disappointed with, where we sort of sunk back onto our line and allowed the free header to go in. So he'll look back on it and address it, and as you said there, we've got to dust ourselves off and look at it, review it, and then go again on Monday.
And Colin Doyle in the visiting goal didn't have a save to make, Shaun.
No, that tells you the story. Thinking about it there, how many positives are you going to take from this game? Very, very few, if any. And normally we'd say, there's a few players, like Jono said, that have performed well or impact subs when the game's not gone your way. I don't think he's going to look back on too many moments in that game, so that was a positive. So that tells you how the game went. We didn't test the goalkeeper. He talks about chances in the last 10, 15 minutes or so, but you're a away team in a division below, you've got your noses in front, you've got to expect to make a couple of blocks, and the keeper didn't have a save to make. So all in all, it was poor, and there's no kind of getting away from it. The standards that we set, the performance that we put in, the results we've had of late, that performance didn't reflect that.
Let's get some more reaction. Sonny Bradley captained Derby tonight.
If I'm honest, that's probably the worst we've been this season, in my opinion. Didn't start the game well. They created more chances than us. The press was good, and we could never really get into the game. And Connor's just mentioned it there on the skip, and just spoke about the mentality at the start of the game, going into the game. We've clearly got it wrong somewhere, because like I say, we started the game poorly, and we got beat tonight, and that's exactly what we deserve.
As a senior pro in the room, do you see any signs of that mentality being wrong before kick-off?
No, not really. I think we did all the usual stuff, before the game. The warm-up was decent. We trained well leading up to this, so it was a bit of a surprise, to be honest. I can't really say now why it's happened, but what is important is that we don't. Obviously, we react well, but we don't sweep this under the carpet either. We come back in to the training ground, we analyse it, see why it happened, try and work out why it happened, and then come up with a solution, because we don't obviously want opposition teams watching that and thinking that's a good strategy to beat us. So we need to come in, show a reaction, and do something about it.
What's the mood like after in there? Is it anger? Is it a little bit more sombre? How is it?
Yeah, there is anger. Everyone's quiet, everyone's really disappointed. We could easily get in or fight with each other because we're that angry that we've lost. But yeah, the skipper spoke well. Some of it stays in the dressing room, obviously. And then the manager had some words for us which we deserved, to be honest. We've taken it on the chin, and we need to react now. That's a bit of a punch in the nose, and for us all the pros, like myself, Collar, there's probably others in there that have never played at Wembley. And if I'm honest, that's probably my best chance of getting there. So that's going to be on my mind now for however long, I don't know yet. But it's disappointing, and the skip just mentioned it then about some of the young lads, about mentality going into games. It's Bradford and they're a league below, but we have no right just to turn up and expect to win. And when you do that and you're a yard off it, you can get punched in the nose, and that's what's happened tonight.
You talked about Wembley there and sort of the personal ambition. Is this really going to sting then because of that?
Yeah, of course it is. I think there's a lot of players who probably dream of playing at Wembley. I've been there with a team and never played last season, so this was important to us, and it's going to hurt for a while. But it's football, and what you got to do is your next fixture you've got to try and win, and that's Burton on Monday, and we'll do everything in our power to do it.
Can you use this to make sure you don't feel like this again this season? Because we all know what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, we can. But it's not just a case of, we're kind of happy it's happened now and not in the league. I'm not thinking that way right now. I'm just massively disappointed that it's happened. But like I say, we need to not just sweep it under the carpet, we need to analyse it, try and work out why this has happened tonight, and then not let it happen again.
That's Sonny Bradley, and that's just about all from the Derby debrief for now. Don't forget, we're now available as a podcast as well. Search for the official Derby County podcast wherever you get yours. Thanks to Barks and to Jolly for joining me. More reaction if you want it on the website dcfc.co.uk. Goodbye.